rocking chair.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of my tutorial series. And today we're going to be looking at piston doors and player sensors. So I've got two examples of piston doors set out here already. This one here is pretty good. It's a one-way door, but it can be adjusted to be two-way. So it opens like that. Have I got my sound off? I have my sound off. There you go. Yeah, but this is a one-way door, and it's designed, I'm going to use it on the Hunger Games map for entrance into the arena, so it's a one-way thing. And this is going to be something slightly harder to break, like iron blocks, because people won't have pickaxes. They'll just have swords, arrows, stuff like that. A couple of axes. I'm going to get to show you the Hunger Games map in a minute as well. But this other door here, well, I'm not even going to show you a tutorial on that, because that's pretty simple stuff, to be fair. It's just a standard piston door, but this one's slightly more intricate, so I'm going to show it to you. It's one which does that, and it makes this flat, but when it's done, the sides are flat as well, apart from this little bit, but it has to be there. And it does this by these two blocks here have a piston behind them, and they push out these blocks here. They push out these blocks, this piston as well, and then these torches under here set these pistons to extend, and that's what creates the flat surface. So yeah, I'm going to get to showing you how to build this thing then. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to decide where you want your door to be. So what I've done here is I built a panel about 7 blocks up, but the actual system itself only takes up 3 blocks. You can make it only take up 3 blocks. It can take up more depending on how you wire the activation system, but 3 blocks is what you need for the actual mechanism. So the first thing you need to do from this is you need to place the 2 sets of pistons that fire off this way. I'll just try and place them correctly, and then yeah, that's that. And then you do the same on the other side. This is an entirely mirrored system, by the way, so once you do one side you can do the other in exactly the same way. So the next thing you do is we're going to use correctors. I'm in the Australian language setting, by the way, just thought I'd let you know. So you do that, that, that. Check this. Yeah, you need to do that. The way to do it. And then you mirror it. Everything's pretty much mirrored in quarters with this. And we also need... I don't even know where we have that, to be fair. Anyway, so you've got 2 torches there. Repeater set to 2. Repeater set to 2. And then you want to go on the inside here. You want to place 1, 2 redstone torches, and redstone wire on top. And these will push out this piston when it's in place, but only when it's in place. So do that, and then you place whatever blocks you want on the top of that, and that's the side done pretty much. So that's all you need to do in terms of the wiring, but what you need to do now is have an activation circuit. So the best way to do this is to put a redstone torch under here, And you can see what that's done is that's brought it all down now. That's good. That's what we want. And so what you want to do is just mirror that on this side, and then we'll get on to doing the activation circuit. Okay, so now we got both these sides wired up, and it works fine. I've tested it already, and the easy way to test it is just to stick a lever on, and you'll see them go up like that. And the next thing we want to do is hook up the activation. So you can do this in one of two ways. You can have it in one where it's always open, always shut, i.e. a lever, or you can have it when it's activated by a button or a pressure plate. You use a T flip-flop, which is something that I'll show to you on how to build. So using the lever, you just route it to where you want it to be, and then doing that will fire off it all. But the T flip-flop, I think I've shown it to you in one of my powered by redstone videos, but it's pretty simple to do anyway, so not exactly onerous. What you do is, let me get my bearings. Okay, so do redstone torch with 2 blocks set out like this, piston there, block there, 2 blocks on top of that, so you have this shape, redstone dust on top, 1, 2 redstone torches, and that's pretty much a T flip-flop. Quick note on this though, the output is this block here, so that's powered, but also when I have a button placed on it, when you press it, it changes there, and then you can see this becomes unpowered. So this is a way of turning a pulse from a button into a 1-bit memory, or i.e. on-off signal. So the next thing you want to do with that is to hook it up to your system, whatever you're going to use. I'm actually going to move it and I'll see you back in a second. Okay, so it's just started raining just as I wanted to record, but that's not really a problem. What I've done here is basically to set up the same T flip-flop, although instead of it being on the floor it's just suspended here, and this torch down here is just on a block and sideways, that's fine. And what happens is exactly the same but with a pressure plate instead. The pressure plate, when I put something on it, it sends power down to this redstone wire, which changes the T flip-flop. So when I step on this pressure plate, on it, it does mess up a bit. I wasn't standing on it quite properly, but when you stand on it, it shouldn't do anything, but when you get off it, that's when it activates it. So that's pretty cool. So all you need to do now is just make the inside of it look good, which is not a hard job, but you have to bear in mind a few little things. For instance, you can only put half slabs up here, otherwise these redstone torches will burn out, and that's pretty much it. Apart from that, everything is good to mess about with. So that's the tutorial for these doors. The next thing I'm going to show you is player sensors. So we'll get to that. Okay, so player sensors, they're quite interesting because in the olden days you had to use a mob spawner. But the problem with that nowadays is you don't have mob spawners in creative, and believe me, I've checked and there isn't mob spawners. So what we do instead is we use a newfangled device. It's called a tripwire hook. And we also need some string as well, as soon as I find it. There we go. And what we do is we disguise this. So we can lay the string out on the floor now, which is a good thing. And then to use it with the tripwire hook, click the tripwire on either end. You can't have it on a single end, but only one end will send it. And this basically just acts as a long pressure pad, and you can have this string, I can't remember the exact length, but it's pretty long. So I'll just run an experiment here. But you could set this up so that it doesn't make a sound when the player walks over it, which would be a long way that way and a long way that way. I think it's 16 blocks is the sound capacity. I'm just going to set time to day. There we go. Make it a bit brighter. Stupid rain. So that's pretty simple, and what this does is it gives redstone signal to this block. And what we can do from that is we can basically set up a trap from it. So you can have your door to make a pit that they fall down, or you can have a mob spawner. Well, not a mob spawner anymore, because you can't get them in creative unless you cheat like an alpaca. So what we use instead is eggs and dispensers. So I'm going to set a quick example up here, and I will see you when I'm done. Okay, so I'm back, and what I've done here is I've just set it up. It's basically dispensers set off by the tripwire, and as you can see it spawns all these lovely delights, which are useful. And if I change my game mode to creative, they will, not to creative, to survival, they will actually kill me, which isn't useful at all, but you know. And I'm going to switch back to peaceful for the moment. And this is just pretty simple. It's just the redstone wire sent up into these dispensers, which are loaded with eggs. So, well, some of them are just for demonstration purposes. But in the map, they will be absolutely banged up to the rafters with eggs. And basically, whenever a person walks over it, it will spawn them. Well, obviously, it doesn't because I'm peaceful. So what we want to do from there is we want to disguise this, not only the tripwire but also this. So what we would do is we would, keep on pressing the wrong button, what we would do is we would get some wood and some leaves, if we have them here, they're not there, and some leaves, and then we would handle everything about, you know, make it all look just like a bush, and make it all look conspicuous like, and then make this look like a tree. These things are really annoying, I don't like it. But the important thing to remember is to leave the opening for the mobs to come through, but you know, it's a work in progress, so eventually this will all iron out pretty damn nifty. So yeah, just gotta make it look like a tree basically. And if I switch over to my normal texture pack, and I set it, then you can see that this tripwire pretty much popping, if you put your mouse over it, is invisible. So it's a very useful system. But I'm going to be loading in the OCD texture pack so I don't waste these eggs or do anything stupid. So I'm going to jump back. I'm going to jump into my Hunger Games world to show you what I've been up to. Okay, this is the Hunger Games map. So far I've just started Spawn Island, because if you don't know the layout of the Hunger Games map from Catching Fire, it's basically a circle in the middle followed by ringed by a donut of land, which will be out there just about where that grass block is there. But what I've done here is the spawn island, and basically all the tributes are called. They'll spawn on this island, or be moved up to this island, depending on how I can get things to work. And this is the cornucopia, and what's going to happen is this place is going to be filled with goodies and tools and arrows and swords and armor and all the interesting things. But the other interesting thing, all the good ones, they're not only going to be further back, but they're also going to be in these chests which you can't open until you've broken that block of gold, which will be a lot harder to do in survival mode, not my creative mode. Yeah, that's what I've done pretty much for the cornucopia. I'm probably going to change the design, and also there's secret chests up here. But this is the control room. If you've watched the Hunger Games film at all, you'll know that the control room is pretty nifty, but what I'm doing with this is making it a storage room as well, with my fancy pants storage floors as well, and then I'm going to install some sort of elevator system. And also down here, this is where the original control room was going to be, but ended up not being that way. So you know, that's just how we roll. There's some diamond there. And this underneath the spawn island, this will all be coated in bedrock. So they'll be able to dig one down and then hit bedrock, and they'll be upset because I'm like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I've done so far, and I've also marked out this bit's all going to be water, all this lapis, just I didn't want to put water down. And this is going to be where the island starts, and this is all MC edited in this stone floor pat. If you saw down there, it's actually a little bit off spawn. Didn't need to do that. I am at 52, and I'm about 16 layers down before a layer of bedrock, which if I get up here I'll just show you. Yeah, 2 layers of bedrock even. There's some diamond here as well, but don't worry about that. This looks much better on my OCD texture pack, I had to be honest, but that's not the point. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll keep you updated on the Hunger Games map being built and other things as well. So see you next episode. Bye.